stayed silent for too long, now his voice shakes the ground. He was the quiet one, always listening, always observing. He learned early that silence kept him safe, that speaking up only made him a target. So he swallowed his truth, buried his fire, and wore a mask that said, "I'm fine," but inside a storm was brewing. No one knew the weight he carried behind that silence, the words he never said, the dreams he never shared, the boundaries he never set. They thought he was calm, agreeable, easygoing, but he wasn't. He was surviving. They mistook his silence for weakness. They were wrong. He watched the world from the sidelines, biting his tongue while others spoke lies. He let people walk over him, not because he didn't care, but because he didn't know how to stop them. Every insult, every slight, every time someone told him who he was or wasn't, it all sank deep. And still, he said nothing. Not because he lacked the words, but because he was afraid they wouldn't matter. But silence is a seed. And under enough pressure, even silence can grow teeth. One day, something inside him snapped, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, like the shifting of tectonic plates deep beneath the earth, and just like that he knew he couldn't stay silent anymore. Not for them. Not for peace. Not even for safety. His truth had become too loud to contain. And when he finally spoke, it wasn't just words. It was release, it was rebellion, it was revolution. He spoke with the force of years spent unseen, with the clarity that only silence can give, with the fire of someone who has tasted erasure and chosen resurrection. Now when he speaks, people listen, because they can feel the truth in his voice, not polished, not pretty, but real, raw, unfiltered, and powerful in ways they can't ignore. He doesn't shout to be heard. He speaks with intention, with weight, with presence, and the ground trembles, not from volume but from depth. He talks about things others avoid: pain, injustice, the cost of silence. He talks about healing, not as a concept but as a war he's fought every day. He talks about the boy he used to be, the one who never raised his hand, who never asked for what he needed, who believed being quiet was the same as being strong. He honors that boy. But he doesn't live for him anymore. He lives for the man who rose from those ashes, who uses his voice like a sword, who chooses honesty even when it shakes, who risks discomfort for the sake of truth. He stayed silent for too long. Now he speaks for others who can't. For those still trapped in silence, still trying to find the courage, still waiting for permission. He doesn't give advice, he gives permission, not to be loud but to be real, not to perform but to express, not to be perfect but to be free. He knows the cost of holding it in, knows what it does to a soul to go unheard for too long, knows that silence can become a prison if you never unlock the door. But now, his voice is the key. They say he's changed, that he's bolder now, louder, less agreeable. They're right. Because the old version of him died in the quiet, and in its place rose a man who knows exactly who he is and refuses to be quiet about it.